A major escalation is unfolding in the Middle East as a series of airstrikes and missile attacks between two powerful nations intensify. Recent air raids have resulted in significant casualties and widespread destruction. Preliminary reports estimate that at least 80 individuals have lost their lives, with more than 800 people sustaining injuries in targeted regions. The strikes focused on military bases, nuclear facilities, and critical civilian infrastructure. Massive explosions were heard across multiple cities, causing severe damage and spreading fear among local populations. Air defense systems have been activated in various locations, attempting to intercept incoming missiles amid the ongoing assault. The situation has led to dramatic scenes in urban centers. In many cities, residents report hearing repeated explosions as air raid sirens fill the night sky. Emergency services have been stretched thin, working tirelessly to manage the unfolding crisis and protect civilians from harm. In response to the initial strikes, missile barrages were launched, aiming at key strategic targets across the region. Hundreds of projectiles lit up the skies as defense systems in neighboring countries scrambled to neutralize them. The skies over several capitals became battlegrounds, with bright flashes from interceptors and explosions visible for miles. Civilians have been urged to remain indoors and seek shelter. Warnings echoed across cities, advising people to stay away from windows and open areas due to the risk of falling debris. The threat of shrapnel from intercepted missiles remains high, raising concerns of injuries even in areas not directly targeted by the strikes. The scale of the attacks marks a significant escalation compared to previous incidents. Earlier clashes pale in comparison to the intensity and scope of the current confrontations. Air defenses have been tested as never before, with unprecedented volumes of missiles crossing borders and entering contested airspace. In several locations, military officials confirmed that advanced defense systems were able to intercept a large portion of the incoming missiles. Despite these efforts, some projectiles managed to reach their targets, causing fires, structural damage, and further casualties. Emergency teams continue to work through the night, extinguishing fires and assisting those trapped under rubble. Regional governments have issued statements condemning the violence and urging restraint. Calls for de-escalation have come from international leaders, as fears grow that the conflict could spiral into a broader regional war. Diplomatic efforts are reportedly underway behind the scenes, but so far, there has been little sign of either side backing down. The night sky has become a display of ongoing hostilities. Residents in several capitals reported seeing bright flashes and hearing loud booms as missiles were intercepted or detonated overhead. In some areas, debris fell onto city streets, adding to the danger for those below. Public transport has been suspended in multiple cities. Airports have grounded flights as airspace remains unsafe. Shops, schools, and offices have closed as people shelter at home, waiting for the violence to subside. The atmosphere is tense, with residents glued to news reports and official announcements. This conflict, which began with targeted airstrikes, has now expanded into a full-scale exchange of firepower. Both sides have vowed to continue their military campaigns, claiming that their actions are defensive in nature and necessary for their national security. The rhetoric has grown increasingly hostile, with leaders issuing warnings and threats of further retaliation. In neighboring countries, the fear of being drawn into the conflict has grown. Air defense forces have been placed on high alert, and emergency procedures activated in case of stray missiles or accidental cross-border strikes. Some regions have already experienced debris from intercepted missiles landing within their territories, causing minor damage and sparking fires. International organizations are expressing alarm at the humanitarian impact of the fighting. Hospitals are overwhelmed with casualties, and medical supplies are running low in affected areas. Aid groups are calling for safe corridors to deliver assistance, but ongoing hostilities are making access difficult. Throughout the night, explosions continued to rock cities, as missile launches and airstrikes showed no sign of slowing. Residents shared images and videos of the destruction, showing damaged buildings, burning vehicles, and shattered streets. Power outages have been reported in several areas as infrastructure is damaged by the bombardments. Despite calls for calm, the fighting has only intensified. Military analysts warn that the current situation could lead to prolonged conflict, with devastating consequences for civilians on both sides. The use of heavy weaponry in populated areas has increased the risk of mass casualties and large-scale displacement. In the coming hours, further military actions are expected. Both nations have announced their intention to escalate their operations, promising stronger responses to ongoing attacks. The possibility of ground operations has not been ruled out, adding to fears of a wider regional confrontation. Meanwhile, international mediators are working urgently to broker a ceasefire or at least a temporary halt to the violence. However, efforts so far have been unsuccessful, as both sides remain determined to pursue their objectives through military means. The international community continues to call for dialogue, but hopes for immediate peace appear slim. As dawn approaches, the region remains on edge. Sirens continue to sound, and the threat of additional attacks hangs heavily over cities and towns. Families huddle in shelters, hoping for relief and safety amid the chaos. The situation remains fluid, with developments expected at any moment as the conflict evolves. This has been a report on the escalating military confrontation in the Middle East. We will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as new information emerges. Viewers are urged to stay informed through official channels and follow guidance from local authorities to ensure their safety during these challenging times.